This should be recording.
Wow. Am I recording now?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, good.
Okay, I'm going to introduce this.
Brilliant. I'm glad we started this without me recording.
Okay, well, if I'm doing this right, then hello, people. You should be able to see Dan over here on your screen somewhere. Otherwise, I'm just going to be sitting on this side of the screen like a numpty. We're here to review Game of Thrones.
If it doesn't work, just put a photo of me up and you won't be wrong.
What about if I just put a picture of Uncle Ben from Spider-Man?
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
Do that.
So, if this video seems a little bit weird, it's because we've been struggling to set this up for a while. I've got Dan on FaceTime on a laptop, which is just in front of you right here.
Turn me round right now, just like a second, just to prove I'm here, and then turn me back again. Just in case it doesn't work. Just prove that I was actually here talking to you.
Oh, you're plugged in though!
Oh.
Alright, let me unplug you.
Turn your laptop around, woman.
There he is. You see him? He's there.
Proof that I was here.
Okay, so we're going to do our usual review. I'm going to try and sort the sound out so you can hear Dan a little bit better during this. And we haven't discussed the episode yet.
A little bit better.
Thank you, Nardole, for that contribution.
A little bit.
Dan, did you want to begin then with your thoughts on Episode 5, Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones, Episode 5, Eastwatch.
Yeah.
Was probably my favourite episode of the season.
Now that's, for me, I didn't like it as much as you. I got a load of texts from Dan, like we were really, really excited, didn't I? Shall I read your texts?
Could do.
Well, Claudia, it's safe to say I just died. It's perfect. Literally perfection. The best. No words will be able to explain. Not a trick missed. Just... wow. I can't even exist with how bloody amazing the ending was. Is this a dream? Did I actually die? I cannot believe what I just witnessed. So you liked it. Did you want to explain part of the reasons why you enjoyed it so very much?
I would rather hear why you didn't, to be honest.
I did enjoy it a lot.
You are the first person I've heard that hasn't enjoyed it like immensely.
Well, I still think... I still have more of a fondness for the Jaime heavy episode. The one where...
How is this not Jaime heavy?
No, it is Jaime heavy. This episode was Jaime heavy, but I'm not sure.
He literally had his reunion with Tyrion. He went to talk to Cersei. Like...
yeah, something about this episode didn't... I don't know, it didn't feel as exciting as it could have been to me. Like, it just felt a little bit slow in places.
What?
Like, I wasn't that overwhelmed by the end either, to be honest.
What?
I just wasn't.
Like, I wouldn't usually tell you this, but you've got the wrong reading of an episode. You've read the episode wrong.
Okay.
Like, you've not enjoyed it as you should have enjoyed it.
No, I did enjoy it, like...
No. Jon Snow, the Hound, Jorah Mormont, Gendry, Tormund, Thoros, and, like, Beric Dondarrion have just teamed up in an Avengers-style episode, and they're gonna go in, like, they've gone beyond the wall, and they're about to go and steal a White. Okay? That couldn't be more exciting.
No, like...
that could not be more exciting.
It is exciting.
And the way they directed it, you saw them lined up like the Magnificent Seven.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh my god, and they walked, and oh my god.
No, like, the direction... no, it was good. I'm not saying it wasn't good. I'm just saying that this episode wasn't, for some reason, as exciting to me as others this series, for some reason. Just something about it just didn't... I don't know, maybe it was because there was no battle. Like, maybe it was a lot of setup for stuff to come. Like, it's quite satisfying in the sense...
When have you ever needed a battle to enjoy an episode?
I really do quite enjoy the battles.
Yeah, but you've never needed a battle to enjoy an episode.
No, but I kind of like more of a mixture of action and plot driven, like, in one, you know? And this episode felt very much like a lot of plot driven getting us to the next stage.
No. What? It was like the most fan service Rogue One style Game of Thrones episode, and it moved so fast, like there was no mucking about. People were where they needed to be in the next scene. Jon Snow, like, tamed Drogon.
Yes, true.
Drogon landed in front of Jon. We had a shot where Jon... Look, just imagine, right, you're watching, like, season 6 or whatever, or season 5 of Game of Thrones, okay?
Yeah.
and you're told in some dream future, oh, in next season there'll be a shot where Jon Snow meets Daenerys, Jon Snow tames Drogon, there's this Avengers-style team-up of everyone, Jaime Lannister, like, fights a dragon, like, it's all kicking off.
You know,
you don't know how good you've got it.
I guess I just kind of feel like... I don't know, I'm waiting for... I felt the whole time like I was waiting for next episode. Like, I want them to get out there and actually start catching the thing. Like, I want the stuff to start kicking off. And it feels very much like they were talking about stuff which was coming up later. And, like, although it's necessary, I just found it very much like I was waiting for what's coming later the whole time. I was desperately thinking, come on, let's get this going now. Like, go and catch that white. Like, come on now, Bran, send that raven. Like, come on.
Yeah, but that's like me saying, oh, for every single episode since season 1, I've been thinking, all right, this is good. Come on, let's have the White Walkers invade now.
I know. I guess it's just
it's going way really really fast.
It is going
fast.
fast.
Not fast enough for you.
No, I've heard a lot of people criticising it because the characters are moving around the world too fast, but I actually don't have a problem with that. Like, I feel like I prefer it when it's quite fast paced.
Yeah.
I don't really care. Like, people are picking holes in it, saying things like, "Oh, so and so's here, and they've just gone from here to here." But essentially, do we really want to watch someone taking their boat journey from somewhere to somewhere else? We don't need to see it.
But that is what we would have had if we had previous seasons, though. That's like the only point I'd make. That if you binged the whole thing from season 1 to season 8,
yeah,
when it finishes, it would be really slow to get through like seasons 1 to 6,
mm-hmm.
and then suddenly it would just kick off like.
Yeah.
I do like completely appreciate there is a different pacing entirely to this season, but I don't care. Like, it works.
What did you want to talk about? Specific things? I've got a list of stuff here which I wanted to talk about in this video. Have you got anything you wanted to talk about specifically?
I could talk about anything really. I don't mind. I don't mind where we start.
Okay, so I thought maybe we could start with the sort of under the radar big massive reveal, which surprisingly Samwell Tarly missed, which was the fact that
yeah.
Like, so we knew basically that obviously Rhaegar and Lyanna had Jon, but the thing was we didn't know if it was like consensual, if he'd raped her and taken her away. That's what Robert Baratheon said, isn't it? But it turns out he probably said that because he was in love with Lyanna himself. It turns out that not only were they actually in love, it turns out that he's actually annulled his marriage to poor Elia Martell, and Jon is legitimate. That's huge. Like, there's no questioning now. He is above Dany in the succession.
Huge news.
That's absolutely massive.
Huge.
I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on that. That's absolutely massive, and people are sort of just...
What reactions are you seeing? No one's sleeping on that.
Mostly, people are excited about the team-up, like you. There's a lot of people hating on Sansa, which is driving me... I can't take...
No. See, why?
No.
Because I'm gonna... As someone who's not been particularly kind to Sansa in the past, I really liked Sansa this episode.
So did I like her this episode. People are saying that, oh, she's obviously going to betray Jon, and oh, she's being sneaky and she wants the power for herself. But I think people are they're not appreciating, if they have that opinion, in my opinion, that's Arya's point of view, and it comes from the lifestyle she's lived, because she's very self-sufficient, very straightforward. We're not, as viewers, supposed to be following what Arya thinks, like, to the letter, are we? We're not supposed to be like, oh, Arya's telling us the truth about Sansa.
Yeah.
Like, she's supposed to be suspicious as a character. That's what Arya's like.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, I feel like Sansa she's doing a really good job.
Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't really Sansa, it was basically the other lords that were being, like, the ones that people shouldn't like, because they're the ones that are like, oh, maybe we never should have made him king of the North, that sort of stuff.
No, exactly, yeah.
Sansa was just sort of like, alright, like...
And also, like, she made a really good point, you know, she's saying to Arya, well, what do you want me to do? Like, I have to let them know I'm listening to them as a leader, but she's going to stay loyal to Jon. Like, she did nothing wrong whatsoever. But I swear, people will pick at anything to get at Sansa, like, at all. There are some people in fandom who just want to pit the two Stark girls against each other, which is ridiculous because they would be so much better together because their expertise together would be amazing.
Well, Littlefinger's trying to put them together, isn't he?
What, against each other, or?
Put them against each other, yeah, so...
Did you catch? I don't know how much you've been looking up after the episode. Do you know what the letter was that?
Oh, well, I read it. It said something about Swear's loyalty to King Joffrey.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's trying to, yeah.
So it's basically.
But wasn't she like forced to write that or something? I don't know.
This was before Ned was beheaded, when she was with the Lannisters in season 1, and they said to her, "Look, we can spare your father if you write this letter and get Robb to bend the knee." So she did that under duress when she's a teenage girl. Who's very scared, and Littlefinger somehow wants to twist that so Arya thinks she's disloyal. Something I wanted to talk about, which we called this in earlier episodes and throughout, okay, and we got dragged for this. People said we were taking this too far, we were being unfair. We were saying that Daenerys Targaryen is potentially not the right sort of person to rule Westeros, right? Because she is tyrannical at times, right? She has good motives for what she does, but it still doesn't excuse her being a total dictator. Didn't we say this was coming?
Yeah.
Like, the whole time, and people were saying, oh, you're being too hard on Dany because, oh, other characters do really bad things. That is true, but Dany presents herself as some sort of freedom fighter.
Yeah, I think other characters do bad things, but Dany had the choice to not do the bad thing and she still did it.
Yes, and also it's very much like Game of Thrones universe is so morally grey, and there are characters that are bad and accept they're bad. So, for example, yes, Cersei is awful. Like, she's killed people with wildfire. Is she presenting herself as someone who's going to save everyone and who everyone wants to be on the Iron Throne? No. It's like Jon and Tyrion say, like, if Dany wants to do this, she has to be better. I think we were totally right with the whole... I mean, I don't trust her as a leader at all.
No, I think we were totally right, and yeah, we were always right.
Yeah.
I mean, like, people were saying, being too hard on Dany, like, it's war, like, it is, but, like, she basically just, like, in the last battle brought a nuke to a gunfight. Really.
Yeah.
Like...
Yes, exactly. And I feel like, I mean, the scene, I don't know if anyone can even argue that point anymore after that scene with Dickon and his dad.
Yeah, I know. That was such a good scene.
I mean, poor Tyrion is desperately using his wits to save them. He's like, why don't you lock them up? Why don't you get them to take the black? Anything.
I think Tyrion should have done more there.
I don't know, I wanted to talk about this as well. I thought the parallels are very interesting now between the two Lannister brothers. Because they are both now the second in command of a Mad Queen.
Yeah.
They are both...
Yeah.
Like... They are both trying their very best to try and stop these rulers from doing bad things and keep them on the straight and narrow. And I think maybe Tyrion might get a newfound sort of respect for Jaime and not see him as the coward he thinks he is, because he's going to start to realise, wait a second, this is more difficult than I thought.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Something else I was thinking about as well with Dany, I mean, this has been signposted for a long time, so this is why I can totally understand people who are Dany fans. I think I'm like a Dany fan myself, like as a character. But when they can't see her flaws, it's quite worrying, because I think it's supposed to be, like, narratively quite obvious that she has got that side to her, which is potentially quite dangerous. I mean, do you remember, I can't remember what series it was in, do you remember her handmaiden Doria? The girl from Hollyoaks played her. And she thought that Dany had died, and that, you know, she had no place to go. She was like a slave, basically, wasn't she? And so, to try and save herself, she did what most characters in the Game of Thrones universe would, like someone like Sansa, and tried to get in with the people that were now in charge. And then Dany locked her in that vault and left her to die.
Oh, yeah, I remember that,
I mean, there is a real scary harshness to Dany, and it's like... It's all very well her saying she wants to break the wheel. Like, I think most people in today's day and age would be like, yeah, like, that's kind of left-wing, isn't it? That's kind of socialist, break the wheel. But you can't do it by enforcing it, that's the thing. The moment you enforce it, you're no longer breaking the wheel because you become a Cersei Lannister type yourself.
Yeah.
Which is a real... Which is... I don't know if you saw that.
What just happened?
Basically, I accidentally hit my glass, and it sort of... Nothing actually dropped out of it, it just made a noise.
Drink again?
Yeah, I did spill drink again. Yeah. Isn't there, like, it's a real world element coming in. Like, I can understand Dany's struggle, but at the same time... She isn't that young anymore. I mean, she is old enough to know not to do that. I mean, she could clearly see that father and son, like that dad, trying to save his son right in front of her, and this poor guy is just trying to be brave and good, and I just...
She even saw, like, the dad hold his son's arm, and like, in an affectionate way, and still was just, like, Dracarys, like...
Yeah. I mean, if I was Tyrion, I'd be horrified. I think Varys is starting to get quite horrified.
Yeah.
That conversation...
Talking of Varys, that scene, I was laughing. I don't know why. It wasn't like... I could tell the joke was coming, but it was still just so funny to me when he had the
scroll thing.
The scroll from for Jon or something else. and he was trying to make out like he'd not read it or something, and there was that long silence. And Tyrion was just like, so what did it say?
No, I wrote it down. Tyrion goes, did you read it? And he goes, it's a sealed scroll for the king in the north. What did it say?
Did it say?
Yeah, it was so good. But I think at this point, like, I'm rooting for not Dany to rule the Seven Kingdoms. At this point, it's Jon. But a new contender has come out of nowhere and brought back House Baratheon because, hello, Gendry. Gendry's back.
Gendry!
We like Gendry, don't we?
We do.
We quite like House Baratheon.
I tell you what, there is a barber going around in Westeros cutting people's hair. And he did it for
Euron.
Euron.
Might be the same barber.
Yeah, probably is because they've got the same haircuts now.
It's like the new style in King's Landing.
Yeah, it's going to catch on soon.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I was interested to see what Gendry's like now because I kind of really feel like him and Arya would be a good match based on the fact they got on when they were younger and obviously now they're older, all that stuff. And I think
that will definitely happen.
Yeah, I was thinking, oh no, maybe like Arya's gone too far now, like Gendry won't like it. And then Gendry's turned out like he hates the Lannisters too and he's bashing people's heads in, so they'll make a great pair. Yeah. That's definitely going to work. I'm a fan of Gendry and House Baratheon. I'd be really happy if he ends up on the Iron Throne. I
just loved the reveal. It was so exciting. Like, you knew it was him.
Yeah.
And he turned around anyway, and so exciting.
Okay, so I've got the Jaime and Cersei stuff to talk about here. So, first of all, I wanted to say, like, another scene I absolutely loved was the one where poor Jaime... There are two really, really good scenes. Jaime is just getting so tired of life at this point. Like, the bit where he was sitting on his own by the river, just sad and tired.
I'll tell you, Jaime Lannister has become, in the last few weeks, so popular with the fans.
And I've liked him all along, and I've been dragged for this.
The amount of like Jaime like tribute videos that are on YouTube.
Yep.
Insane. They came out of nowhere. There's like 7 of them in like 1 week, which 7 really good ones. Like.
Yeah, I know.
Crazy.
It's like people are finally catching on that you can be a morally grey character and still be a hero in a show like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Like, it's taken them a bit of a while, but they're finally getting there. No, I really like the scene where he was by the river, and that there was the scene where he was coming back to talk to Cersei and he's covered in dirt and everything, and he just looks so tired and drained, and I felt so sorry for him. Like, what was the thing he said to Bronn? He said, Bronn was telling him he was stupid for what he'd done, and he just said, I wanted to end the war. Yeah. It was just... That's really sad. Now, this whole baby situation we've got going on, so there's a Lannister bab on the way. A tiny Lannister bab. Now, we know that the bab's probably not... The wolves have got the babby.
Take the babby from the wolves.
We suspect that this poor bab isn't going to make it because the prophecy that Cersei heard when she was younger said that she'd have 3 children. And she's already had her 3 children. There's a theory that Cersei isn't actually pregnant. There's a theory that she sensed that now Tyrion's back on the scene, Jaime's going to waver, because throughout his story, it's like he's got an angel and a demon on his shoulders, isn't it? It's like he's got Cersei on one side and Tyrion on the other. And it might just be Cersei's way of thinking, right, I really need Jaime on side, because my little brother's going to get to him.
But we saw, like, Qyburn talking to her about it, right?
Yeah, but I mean...
Does that theory imply that Qyburn's also in on it? And he's like, oh yeah, don't worry.
Yeah, but how complex do you...
When he comes in, we'll be over here on this side of the room, we'll be having a little chat. We'll leave it, like, ambiguous, but Don't worry, Cersei.
Yes, but I mean, it would be, like, how complex do you think their knowledge of, like, reproductive system and stuff is back then? I mean, all she's got to say is, oh, I missed my courses, I think I'm pregnant. And all he'll say is, okay, Cersei, we'll just wait 9 months and see what happens. Like, it would be very easy to fake it. And also in the books, we know that Cersei's drinking is causing her to gain quite a lot of weight on her stomach. Like, that's a thing in the books. So, it could just be alcoholism.
Don't know. Could be.
I think.
I don't know. I don't think she's lying. I don't know.
But I mean, it's going to get quite dark if she's telling the truth, because we assume that Jaime's going to have to kill her at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, if she's pregnant, that's going to be, you know, difficult to watch.
Yeah, I don't know if they'd do that. Yeah.
I don't know if they'd do that either. It's
I don't think they'd do that.
Another thing I wanted to talk about. Bran this episode. He seemed more animated suddenly. Did you notice?
Oh, Bran, yeah, he did, didn't he? Yeah.
He was back to his usual self.
Yeah, out of nowhere, suddenly he was just being more Brannish, yeah.
Yeah, it was really weird. The ravens that we were seeing, they were real, weren't they? I mean, he had walked into them, or was it a vision? Was that...
I think that was real.
Mm.
Because, yeah, I think he'd walked into those, it wasn't a vision. And yeah, I think that genuinely is where the White Walkers are, and they are genuinely coming, like, that close.
Still very slowly.
Well, I mean, until they get the wall down, they can't really do much, but...
I mean, realistically, though, judging by what we've seen of the White Walkers, I know they're a real danger and all, but as long as that wall is still standing, I mean, how are the White Walkers going to get the wall down anyway?
Well, I don't know. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see, Claudia.
Yeah, but how do we know they are actually going to get the wall down?
Oh, the wall will come down, Claudia.
What, are you thinking it's going to come down like an avalanche?
The wall will come down, Claudia, and it will come down hard. Okay?
Okay. Well, I don't really have anything else on my list. Is there anything else you particularly wanted to talk about?
You don't have anything else on your list?
Well,
Right.
I made a list of, like, the most important things, because I wasn't sure how successful this video would be with you on Video Link. I mean, you can...
Alright, well, my new favourite bro-ship,
Yeah.
bro-friendship,
Bromance.
bromance,
Yeah.
Gendry and Jon Snow, right? I didn't even, like, consider that.
Neither did I.
And then, this is what I mean by the writers aren't missing a trick this season.
Yeah.
Like, they're not ignoring anything.
No, I've already seen a GIF set this morning on Tumblr that someone made of, like, not the first meeting, but you know the meeting of Robert and Ned where he says you've got fat and there's that joke?
Yeah,
like,
you've got to fat, yeah.
And it's just just excellent in general.
It was so smart.
I
yeah.
never considered it until they were literally right there and started talking, and then I suddenly thought, wait a second.
Hang on, yeah.
These people are like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Gendry was like, I thought you'd be taller or something like that, didn't he? Yeah.
No, it was really good. Oh, we haven't spoken about Kit Harington's personal headcanon about Brienne of Tarth yet, have we?
Oh, it's quite funny, yeah. But yeah, this might be a reason why Brienne wasn't invited beyond the wall.
I was literally thinking that. Basically, Kit Harington, according to Dan told me this.
No, there's an interview Kit Harington did for the press junket for season 7, where he basically was just like, it was something like, which characters does Jon want dead or something, or does Jon not like?
Yeah.
Then Kit Harington just came out with this like hilarious like commentary on how in his head he just reckons Jon doesn't like Brienne.
Yeah.
Like there was no reasoning to it.
No.
It was just so funny.
But it does kind of actually hilariously make sense in this episode.
Yeah.
Tormund's like, why don't you bring the big woman? Jon's like, I don't think so. Why don't I bring the big woman? I'm glad that Sam has finally left his boring storyline.
Yeah, but it'll be sad to say goodbye to Jim Broadbent.
It will be. I'm just sad that Jim Broadbent couldn't go with him.
I think Jim Broadbent should go with them beyond the wall.
Yeah, he's just part of their group.
He should be part of that team. Yeah.
But as Jim Broadbent, they don't call him Maester something. It's just Jim Broadbent.
Oh yeah, no, it's not Maester. It's not that. It's not the same character. It is actually Jim Broadbent.
Yeah. I'd like to see that. Oh, I know what we haven't spoken about, talking about Beyond the Wall. Right. Now, there's been some real beef going on online today. And the Jon and Daenerys shippers are getting a little bit nervous, a little bit uncomfortable, with the return of Jorah Mormont.
Oh, that's the...
I never thought I'd be on Team Dany and Jorah, but I'm on that team now, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so am I, think, actually.
I'm sorry, but when he came back, it suddenly realised, I had a realisation, which I hope Dany will suddenly realise also, that actually, Jorah is a wonderful man. And he'd make a wonderful king.
Oh, yeah. Jorah's great, actually. I love Jorah, yeah.
Yeah, he's a fantastic character. I'm so glad he's part of the group.
He's been through so much.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sure he's had to prove himself about 7 different times that day, like life-changing ways.
Yeah.
Like,
No, but there are genuine posts on Tumblr of people reassuring themselves, like, but did you see how Dany didn't mind when Jorah went, but then Jon said he was going and Dany looked really worried. But I can sense beyond those posts, the fact there are so many, that genuinely they too have seen the Jorah and Dany chemistry, and they're worried.
Yeah.
They're worried. I mean, Jorah's gonna die, anyway, I think. I think Jorah will die in a heroic way, and then Dany will get with Jon, but still.
You think Jorah's gonna die?
I think he's gonna have to, because I'll be really kind of sad if...
Mind you, yeah, Jorah's one of those Theon characters where
You won't want him to die, and it will be really tragic, but he'll go.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how far they're going to take it with this Jon and Dany thing before anyone lets slip, like, the relationship they have.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I think it will happen.
Yeah, so do I.
But I think the only really way they can do that is to, like, have them either never find out or just, like, kill one or both of them off before they can ever find out.
Because, no, I was thinking that too. I was thinking, how can they actually, in a serious manner, get past that?
Yeah, because even when it gets revealed, like, there's no way they'd miss, like, the comedic moment of Jon being like, oh, what?
And also, like, the scene with Jon and Drogon, I was thinking when I was watching it, I mean, Drogon is Jon's cousin.
Well, yeah.
I mean, technically they're cousins. That's weird, isn't it?
Well, yeah, they're sort of cousins.
Is Drogon Dany's favourite dragon?
It would seem that way, wouldn't it?
I feel like there's a favourite child.
Oh, there 100% is.
Now, you know there's a theory you told me, I'm not sure how accurate this is, I don't know what spoilers are accurate, that at one point one of the dragons will turn bad or somehow go bad, right?
Well, there's a rumour that one of the... potential spoiler alert.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the rumour that... I think it's more just a fan theory, really, or like a fan dream, that maybe, like, one of the dragons will get turned into, like a zombie ice dragon or something.
Have people considered that maybe he'll just get fed up with his mother clearly favouring Drogon over everyone else?
And decide he wants to be on the other team, yeah.
He's just or maybe he is also having the same... The dragons are having a really deep storyline, we just can't speak dragon. They're having, like, the whole Tyrion situation here, where one of the dragons is realising and thinking, oh, wait, our mum's a bit, temperamental, isn't she?
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't help her.
I love that they've given... Look, there is no doubt in my mind... Sorry to go back to this ending, right? There's no doubt in my mind that the plot and the concept, it's not just in my head, that it's very heavily influenced by, like, Avengers and, like, Suicide Squad.
No, it really was. Like, the filming and everything was making me think...
It definitely is not in my head. The fact that they've even given, like, Gendry his, like, own personal weapon, it's like this big warhammer.
Yeah.
Beric's got a flaming sword, like, this is the... I don't know how you're not more excited.
I think I was excited by it, but for me, I'm more concerned with the storylines going on with, like, Sansa, the storyline with Jon's parentage, that kind of thing. Like, like, the political situation of Sansa is my favourite, and Cersei's as well. I like my favourite parts.
Pooey dream world do you live in where you're more excited about, what Sansa doing in Winterfell than what is this amazing team up doing Beyond the Wall?
But I shall explain, right. So as someone I'm really into, like, my Tudor history, and you've just disappeared, now you're back.
Okay, before you say this, can I point out how earlier in this video you said, I need, like, some action to enjoy the episode?
Yes. No, I do need action to enjoy the episode. I still stand by that. Like, I liked the bit where they went out beyond the wall. I wished it had happened maybe halfway through the episode and we'd actually seen some action with them, is what I'm saying.
What?
I wanted to get to the juicy stuff, like,
because
sooner.
We've got a whole episode dedicated to that now, coming up.
So is the next episode going to be purely that little gang?
In the trailer there's a little bit of Winterfell, but it's going to be like Battle of the Bastards, where, like, the first, like, 5 minutes was Daenerys, and then it goes straight into, like, the battle.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe when I see that episode, this one will feel better to me because it will feel like it's...
Oh, I don't even know how you're not...
But anyway, what I was going to say about the Sansa thing is just really briefly, because a lot of people who watch this channel are quite into, like, medieval Tudor history kind of thing. But I think Sansa reminds me a little bit of young Elizabeth I, in the sense that she's got people who want her to challenge Jon, but she doesn't want to sort of... She kind of wants to stay out of trouble, she wants to sort of navigate the political world, she's had a lot of trauma going on. Like, for me as a Tudor fan, and a fan of, like, young Elizabeth I, it feels like her story mirrors that quite heavily. So watching that is really exciting to me, because it feels like... It just feels like such great payoff as a Sansa fan, who's been a Sansa fan since Series 1. Like, to see her ruling Winterfell is just such a kick for me, genuinely. Okay, question for you. Before we go, question for you. Right, out of the little ragtag group, the Avengers Assemble group, right?
Yeah.
Okay, who is going to be
I could talk about that until the ends of the earth.
Well, we haven't got until the ends of the earth.
Carry on.
Right. Who's going to be the first to kick the bucket?
You think that they're not going to... You think some of them are going to... Well, they brought a load of dispensables with them, haven't they?
Who's the dispensables?
They brought... No, the team behind... It's not just those 7, though, is it? There's a little group of... As well, behind them.
Oh, I didn't notice the second group.
Yeah, they're the dispensables.
So they're probably all going to go?
Yeah. They'll go.
They'll all just
There's no
go.
room for them, yeah.
Yeah. The Hound's friend might go. I mean, he's probably less important than...
You're the least important... Well, don't want to say that, but, like, the most likely are probably people like Tormund, Thoros, maybe Jorah? I don't know. But, like, the Hound won't go.
I don't think Tormund's going anywhere.
It would be... Yeah, but Tormund's from Beyond the Wall, isn't he? If Tormund was going to go...
Yeah.
It would be quite poetic if he did go, like, next episode, like, Beyond the... I don't know, but, like, Gendry will be alright. They won't kill him off, like...
Can you imagine if they did a shock and they literally just killed Gendry the second episode he's back?
Immediately after bringing him back, yeah.
Straight away he's dead. It's like, oh, well. Great.
Yeah.
So I think we should wrap this up because this has been...
Have you seen the trailer for the next episode?
No, I have not.
So the preview for next week looks exactly as you imagine. In your dreams, that's what it... This is so... I can't see your face. Do you know that? This whole thing I've not been able to see your face.
You can see an eye.
I can just see like an eye. It's really creepy. I can't tell what emotion you're having. It's kind of sinister.
Yeah.
Like you're like creeping around the corner, right?
Yeah, I didn't really think about it like that. I don't do it. It's
Carry
really
on.
creepy.
Yeah.
It's so creepy.
But yeah, this whole episode I've not been able to tell how you're reacting to anything I'm saying. But yeah,
It's just everything you could have wanted.
Here we are. Yeah, here we are. I can't believe it.
Right then, we should sign off. Say goodbye. Is there any chance you'll be back down here next week?
Potentially.
Potentially. So we may have you for another Game of Thrones review, potentially.
Yes. Yes.
Okie dokie. If not, we'll try and do this again, and I think I figured out a way.
Did you just say Okie the Dokie?
No, I don't think I did. Okie the
It sounded
dokie.
like you said Okie the Dokie.
Okie the dokie.
Okie the Dokie.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you next week.
Thanks for watching Claudia and Virtual Dan.
And Virtual Dan. Right. Do you want to...
Futures made of virtual insanity. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next week.
See you next week, guys. Bye.
Bye.